I spent 5 days playing live poker tournaments, and here's how it went.
Let's fucking go. Now I'm heads up with it. Just like that, we're heads up.
The last 5 days have been some of the best runs I've ever seen in my poker career. It doesn't start out hot, but I promise just watch till the end because I do some things that are pretty crazy. It all starts out with the $500 50K guaranteed at the Indigo Sky Casino. I fire 3 bullets into an $85 satellite. I win a seat into the $500 tournament. I save about $245 here and only plan on firing this 1 bullet. I'm getting dealt nice cards. We start with 25,000 chips, and I'm winning pot after pot. I'm up to 43,000 now, and I find King 10 suited on the button. Blinds are 400, 800, 800. Under the gun opens to 2,000. This player looks young and seems aggressive. I make the call. Big blind calls as well. We take the flop of Jack, 9, 8, 2 spades. Under the gun now c-bets 2,100. And with open-ended, I'm going nowhere. I don't think raising is good here unless I have the flush draw as well. So I make the call. The turn is the king of clubs, and when under the gun now bets out 4,000, I might not be loving this king. I still can't go anywhere yet, so I call, and the river is the 8 of diamonds. The flush bricks, and under the gun now bets 10,000. This bet seems like value, but maybe it's just ace 10 of spades. Maybe it's jack 10 of spades. Maybe it's just ace king, and I'm about to pay 3 streets value. I put in the call, and he shows pocket queens. Wow, that was super thin. I then get it in with Jack 9 off on a Queen 8, 9 flop against Queen 7. We luckily spike our gut shot 10, and we're chipping up nicely, up to 64,000. I then get it in with Ace King suited versus Pocket Kings. Unlucky, down to 35,000 now. And then I pick up Queen 10 suited in a 3-bet pot on a Jack King 7 2 diamond flop. I get it in versus Pocket Aces. Pocket Aces holds, he covers me, so I just move on to the next tournament. Day 1's over. I spend $255 and I cash out for $0. It's day 2 now. I'm in Choctaw Casino in Pocola, Oklahoma, and I'm here for their entire series. I'm playing their first event. It's a $250 monster stack, and I end up firing 4 bullets into this event. I finally get some traction on my 4th bullet, and we're down to 23 players left. 8 players make the money, and we're playing for $5,300 up top. Now, it's the final 2 tables. We're down to 18 players left, and I have ace 9 suited from under the gun. I get called by the big blind player. We take a flop of ace jack jack. I c-bet, he calls, the turn is a queen, and it goes check check. The river now is another jack, and big blind now shoves all in for my tournament life. I am literally thinking this guy has quads or we're chopping. I don't think he has any bluffs here. I'm sick to my stomach. I honestly thought about folding here, but it's just so hard to make quads. We're so close to the money, but I end up making the call, and he shows me Queen Jack offsuit for quads. I'm out for $0. I immediately go play the nightly event for $130, and fast forward, I find myself at a final table with 6 players left. We're playing for $2,000 up top. These nightly tournaments become quite a shit show towards the end. Blinds are now 3,000, 6,000, 6,000, and I have 32,000 chips in the big blind. I got 5 big blinds and a dream. Button opens to 15,000. Small blind calls, and I'm the clear short stack at the table. I look down at King 7 suited. I decide on just calling the 15,000. We take a flop of 6, 9, 7 all spades. It checks to me. I don't have much, so I decide on donk jamming here. I put my 11,000 in, and both players call. The turn is a queen. They check. The river's a deuce. They both check again, and small blind shows king queen, and button shows a7 suited. I'm out at 6 for $312. Day 2 is a wrap. I wish we would have not fired 4 bullets, but however, I can't complain. We still have the rest of the days to come. We're in for $1,130 and out for $312. It's the next day now, and there's another $250 event. I swear to myself I'm not going to fire 4 bullets today, and I start to record my hands, but later change my mind because I really wanted to focus on finding exploits on my opponents. This seems to work out because I'm all of a sudden now at a final table with 6 players left. I have a middling stack, and we're playing for nearly $4,400 up top. I just need to win all 1.8 million chips to take it down. I have 360,000 going into 6 players left. I chip down to 290,000 chips with 5 left, and then back up to 320,000 chips going into the final 3 of this tournament.
I gotta walk.
Moments later, I bust the 3rd person out. He bluffs me with king high, and I make an easy call with the straight. This felt like a donation, and now we're heads up against a pretty solid player named Gary. He's got about 1.2 million of the chips. I have 600,000. He's a 2-to-1 favorite. I have no interest in chopping. I'm going for it all. We're heads up, and I have deuce 4 of spades. Blinds are now 8,000, 16,000, 16,000. I just make the call. Gary checks. We take a flop of king 8, 7, 2 spades. Gary checks to me, and I bet out 40,000. Gary calls. The turn is the jack of diamonds. He checks again, and I now polarize my bet. I make it 95,000. I honestly just want folds at this point. He doesn't do that. He makes the call, and we somehow bink the river with the jack of spades. Gary checks to me again, and I now make it 150,000. I'm just targeting 1 pair of king hands here. If he raises, I'm going to be a little sick, but he just makes the call, and I win a massive 600,000 chip pot. I'm starting to realize that I might actually win this thing. So I turn on the camera and I finally begin to record some action. I have 1.1 million of the chips now, and Gary has 700,000. We trade a few pots back and forth. I'm now in the small blind with queen 5 suited. Blinds are still 8,000, 16,000, 16,000. I limp in. Gary now makes it 32,000. Weird sizing. I'm going nowhere. I call, and the flop comes queen 5 queen. I'm extremely excited. He's the pre-flop aggressor, and I could really just win it all here. Gary c-bets 30,000. No need to scare him away. I just make the call, and the turn is the 6 of clubs. Gary now checks, and I decide on sizing it a little more than half pot. I bet out 85,000, and he makes the call. The river is the 8 of diamonds. Gary checks again to me, and I go for a 70% pot bet here. I make it 215,000, and Gary snap calls it off. Let's go. He's down to 200,000 chips. I have 1.6 million, and this is mine to win. Moments later, I look down at this hand.
Cool. Sorry, man. That's crazy. I mean, you can still hit. It's not over. It's not over. It's really not over. Oh, good game, man.
And just like that, I get my photo taken. I go cash out my winnings. And if you thought that this was the end of this video, you'd be so wrong, because I was just getting started. Today's now the main event. It's a $300 buy-in with a $200 add-on after late registration. All I'm trying to do is get the bag for day 2. There's over 110 entries and only 11 will make it to day 2. I shortly bust my first bullet for $300. I make a hero call with ace king, and I'm wrong. I re-enter for another $300 and start to build a stack. I continue to chip up. My table is really soft. I can notably remember a spot where I shoved 20 big blinds effective on the button with pocket 3s. I cover the big blind player and he folds pocket 10s face up. I was in shock. He said he wasn't ready to flip for his tournament life. Little did he know, he was crushing me. All right, we are on a 1 hour dinner break. I am about to go hit the gym real fast. We have 270,000, as you could see in the last clip. Hopefully we can run deep. There's only 25 people left for this day one flight. So we still got some way to go. 11 people will back tonight. Let's get there. See ya. I then come back from the dinner break, and we're down to 18 players left. There's a nightly tournament going on at the same time, and I get the brilliant idea of playing both at the same time. I go ahead and register into the $130 nightly tournament. I find myself making it to the final table of the nightly tournament, so I decide on recording some action. I am playing the final table of the nightly tournament and playing the final 2 tables of the main event. What did I get myself into? I find the bag for day 2 of the main event. I bag 183,000 chips, and I finally can focus on the nightly tournament.
And just like that, we are chip leading the nightly with 3 left. We're heads up.
Then finally, I shove my way into a first place in the nightly tournament. Holy shit. And we bagged day 2. It's a lot of good stuff coming up. I'm excited to edit all this. For this day, I really did not record much content. I really focused on my tournament gameplay because tomorrow we are going to be playing for nearly $15,000 up top. So for day 4, I spend $930 and cash out $1,029. Plus, I still have a bag for day 2. All right, we are here for day 2 of the Picola 50K main. It's $14,000 for first, and we got a shot. We have 183,000. I think we're like number 14th out of 18 players left. So hopefully we can do something. My goal is to play the best poker that I can. I'm not recording any hands today. I want to focus, and with 14 players left, I find pocket kings. I have 350,000 chips, and a guy with 300,000 chips shoves into my open. I'm excited. I have kings. I call, and he has aces. I'm thinking to myself that this is pretty much the end. I have him covered, but not by much. And oh my God, I can't believe it. Wait. Did you miss that? Oh my God, I really can't believe it. I turned a set of kings and crack aces. We're down to 12 left, and I now have 750,000 chips. A few orbits of folding, not getting into much action. I'm walking over to the final table with nearly 600,000. I've locked up $1,200, and I am 4 out of 9 players left. Slowly seeing players bust, I'm now at 6 players left, locking up $2,600 now, and I'm still sitting at 600,000, and we get to sweat a short stack, putting it in with King Queen versus pocket 6s. Unfortunately, 6s does not hold. However, the player with 6s now gets it in with Queen 9 off versus pocket kings, and pocket kings holds. We're down to 5 players left. I've locked up $3,400 now, and me and 2 other guys are all the shortest stacks at the table. Moments later, the 2 big stacks get into a nasty cooler with trips over trips, and one of the big chip leaders is now a short stack. I have a situation where I have ace-8 offsuit in the small blind with 10 bigs. However, the shortest stack has 2 big blinds. I actually open fold ace-8 offsuit just because I am completely clueless on what to do in this spot. I'll ask you guys, what would you do if someone has 2 big blinds left and you're put in a spot where you have 10 big blinds, you're second to last, and you get dealt ace-8 in the small blind, it folds to you? What's your move? After open folding ace-8 off and giving the big blind a walk, the big blind now comes around to the 2 big blind player. He's the shortest. He has to get it in. He busts out at 5th place, and now I am the shortest at the table. I'm in the small blind now with Jack Deuce suited. I have about 9 big blinds left. It folds to me, and I opt on shoving. I get snap called by King 10 offsuit. I do not improve, and my 5-day journey comes to a bittersweet end. In 5 days, I spent $2,565 and cash out a total of $10,349. I make a $7,784 profit. Thanks for watching, guys. I spent a lot of time editing this video. Leave me a like and a comment below if you like this type of video editing. I really appreciate everyone who's following. We'll see you in the next one.